It is a crucial moment in his new presidency, and it comes as he faces an approval rating well below 50%. John King is out front. And John, how does that approval rating compare to past presidents at this time?
Aaron, not so well is the quick answer when you look back at the most recent previous presidents. Let's take a look at those numbers. The past 6 presidents, their approval rating on that night of their first address to a joint session of Congress. President Trump at 44%, and you can see looking across the board, lower than any of the past 6 presidents. Ronald Reagan was at 55% at this point. George H.W. Bush, 51. Bill Clinton, 51. George W. Bush, the high, 62% early on in his first term. President Obama at 59%, despite the big financial crisis back then. So the president, the numbers don't lie, remarkably, historically unpopular as he prepares to speak to the joint session of Congress and the American people on this big night. Now, obvious, that makes it more difficult, A, to convince Democrats to come his way, and B, even to keep Republicans in the fold as you see these internal party fights on issues like health care and on tax reform. This is a disadvantage for the president, something he hopes to improve on tonight with his speech to Congress and the American people. But he does have one big thing working in his favor: the economy. Look at the unemployment rate now, 4.8%. Go back, remember, when President Obama first addressed the Congress, the unemployment rate back then, early 2009, 8.3%, on its way higher past 10%. Then over the last 6 years, you've had this steady drop down. This helps the president enormously. Yes, he might personally be unpopular, but his policies are actually a bit more popular than him. What the president is betting on is that this gets better. Not only the unemployment rate, but the growth rate. The president saying this morning in that interview with Fox News, if growth can come faster, then more money comes into Washington. The American people are more happy, and guess what? Washington has more money from tax revenue, so you can cut taxes and fund military spending increases at the same time. This, a big advantage for the president. Something else to keep in mind: who's he really talking to tonight? Yes, the members of Congress, the American people watching at home. But see the red America? This is the House map from the 2016 election. These red districts, those are the people who sent Donald Trump to Washington. His first priority is to keep his base. He knows he needs Republican unity on health care. He needs Republican unity on tax reform. He needs Republican unity on other big legislative battles, like potentially immigration reform, even the money to build his wall. Would he like to change some minds in blue America? Of course he would. But priority number one, especially because of that narrow Senate Republican majority, because of the differences in the House Republican family, priority one for this president: keep his support in red America as high as possible so that he can twist some arms on the Republican side and pass his agenda.